Hello there, and welcome back to the world of two grumpy retro gamers, the show that looks at classic games for your viewing pleasure. I'm Forbes Longdon.
And I'm Michael Langebeer. Today we're going to be playing the Dreamcast. It was released in 1998 in Japan.
Yeah.
Over for the English in 1999. Discontinued sadly in 2001. Not a long time for a console, I'd say, but the competitors was quite massive at the time, you must agree with me.
Yeah.
Obviously the Saturn didn't do so well, thanks to PlayStation 1. Things happen, and yeah, it didn't look good when the Dreamcast came out because they had the PlayStation 2 come out. What was it? GameCube? GameCube. Mm-hmm. Fantastic console though.
Yeah, very much so. I like GameCube.
And
that's fan favourite of two grumpy retro gamers.
Yeah. And of course the upcoming Microsoft, the Xbox. So we're playing Dreamcast today. Tell me, Forbes, what are we going to be playing?
Well, Michael, what we're going to be looking at today is one of the most impressive and intense releases of 1999.
Right.
Sonic Adventure.
Ooh.
Is the game we're looking at, and it's one of the best looking games of its time. But what we really want to know is, how does it stack up to today's standards?
That's the question, isn't it?
Indeed it is. Now, I have fond memories of Sonic Adventure, and I'm sure you do too.
Yeah, we have. Yeah.
Everybody that had a Dreamcast would have at least had Sonic Adventure.
Yeah.
I seem to remember back in 1999, 2000, 2001, it was a pack-in game from your local electronic boutique, your game station branch, your game branch. You would, chances are, have your £150 Dreamcast console with a copy of Sonic Adventure.
Yeah.
So, I feel that anybody that's watching this episode now is going to relate to this if they've ever owned Dreamcast or played one, that Sonic Adventure is probably going to be the game that they've played.
Mm. Yeah.
Now, I have fond memories of this title myself. I think that it was an absolutely mind-blowing game when it first arrived.
Yeah.
That first scene on the first level, the beach level.
Yeah.
The whale.
It was the first we saw of Sonic, wasn't it?
Yes.
So,
yeah, it was. I seem to remember. I think the game throws you straight away into a boss battle as the very first
right.
level.
Yeah.
With I think Chaos, which is a mythical creature. Who's summed up by Dr. Robotnik.
Yeah, of course.
The
Eggman.
Eggman himself. And I think this is the last game where he's actually referred to as Robotnik.
Yeah.
Before he changed to Eggman.
That's it. I mean, it's not just the Eggman that you have to defeat, it's also this monster that he's created. That's basically what the game is about, of course. Eggman trying to take over the world once again. What is his problem?
The Eggman cometh.
Yeah.
But Sonic Adventure, I think, stacks up there for me with system sellers.
Yeah.
That when you look at a machine, you have Halo on the Xbox, Mario Sunshine, I think, for GameCube, Mario 64, of course, for Nintendo 64, and Sonic Adventure for the Dreamcast.
Yeah.
And I think where we refer to the Saturn in sort of your earlier part of the discussion there, I think that the Saturn didn't have a system seller at all. Didn't have a 3D Sonic game per se.
No.
It had Sonic 3D Freneky's Island, but I personally don't think that was a bona fide game system seller for the Saturn, being a Mega Drive game to begin with.
Yeah. Maybe that's why they did so terrible.
But Saturn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. It was a hash console, hastily put together.
Yeah.
A couple of 2D processing chips. I'll put them in there. God knows. Oh no, the PlayStation's got a 3D processor. What can we do?
Yeah. Sad, really, because it's 18 years that they could have kept on going, really.
Has it been that long?
Well, no, the Sega was about for 18 years until they stopped.
That's actually quite a little amount of time they were in the hardware business for, wasn't it?
Very.
Before becoming Sega Sammy Holdings.
Shame, really. But Nintendo's laughing their ass off, aren't they?
But, well... Are they?
For now.
I was imagining when the Wii came out. Certainly. But that's an interesting discussion which we'll talk about a little bit later on with Nintendo's thought process with things, particularly when it comes to this game. Now, obviously, the Dreamcast is 128-bit. Really shows with this game that I feel back in its day, it looked absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
It looked $1 million. It really did.
Yeah.
Fantastic looking game.
I mean, I thought Dreamcast was way ahead of its time as well.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic console. Yes, it's a shame they're not, didn't do as well as what it should have. But it doesn't mean we can't go back to it like we are now. Should we have a little game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you gonna have the controller?
Yeah, sure, yeah. I do like the start of this. I mean, I didn't see it. You had us going before I came yet. But he's kind of like Sonic's on the sun lounger or something, isn't he?
Yes.
I reckon he's earned a bit of bunts, getting all those good rings, sold them off.
I think that's what it is. He's taken a break.
Yeah.
From what would be the last Sonic game for Sonic 3D Flicky's Island. He's taken a break since then. Sonic Racing.
Yeah, always going against the Eggman. Always trying to take over the world. Yeah, I don't know why he's got to be such a douche, but
Wow.
yeah, there's no hero there. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So from the get-go, we can see because we're replaying this level, the decor of the level's actually gone to an evening setting, which I think is actually during the day when you're there first time around. So that's a nice little touch already. It's pretty good.
And we're on a coast. Let's do this. Don't want those rings.
This is actually a secondary objective that you have in each of the levels. That essentially on the first part level, you've got to try and make it through without dying.
Yeah. It's a very fast-paced console, I must say.
Yeah. Second time around, you've got to collect 50 rings and destroy the capture at the end of the level. Well, I don't know quite where you're going.
Neither do I.
What on earth happened there?
I'm not sure, but that's a safe thing, yeah.
That's the elephant in the room, I think, a lot with Sonic Adventure.
Yeah.
There are a lot of unpredictable glitches that happen. None more so than the camera system.
The camera's a little bit hard to get used to. Camera angle.
Yeah, oof, you almost got hit by some spikes
Yeah,
there.
almost.
But it's so fast paced. I mean, everything is coming at you, and you can control this game really with forward on the analog stick and the A button to jump, and then that's pretty much all you need for the first couple of levels.
Oh god, there's a whale after me.
Yeah, that was, you know, a tour de force in its day graphically.
Yeah. Oh god, just barely got away from him.
100 rings already, got yourself another life. That's good, because you did lose quite a lot when we were doing the test run.
I'd get a little bit used to it. It's been many years.
Yeah.
Since
Oh.
saved. Many years since I played this. God.
That's one of the few times I've ever seen him do a save move where he saves himself from the ledge.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a ledge. You can actually spin dash all the way up to the top here, which takes you through a little secret cavern.
Oh yeah. No, I didn't make it, but
Only the true pros get there.
alright, alright.
That's
Somebody that just plays it constantly.
I don't have life. That's why I
I
do.
don't know what I'm doing here.
What? I don't even.
I don't know either.
Not even sure what. Oh.
I don't want those rings anyway.
No,
So.
they're weighing you down, if anything, into the water. So, real-time physics. One thing I do notice about Sonic Adventure is how vibrant the graphics are, even by today's standards for a game that's, you know, coming up to what, 19 years old.
Yeah.
That looks absolutely fantastic. The colour palette's bright, colourful. Those greens are lovely. The red is really popping on Sonic's shoes. Yeah, really, really lovely looking game.
Yeah, I think so. Like I said, it's, the camera's a little hard to get used to, especially if you're used to you know, the older Sonic games.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of the 2D Sonic games were a lot easier, weren't they? Because you're only going from the left point to the right point.
Exactly,
yeah. Yeah, you're rarely ever backtracking on yourself. Whereas with this, you've got so many different directions to sort of take in it.
Ah.
That was a respectable time that you did there.
Yeah?
Yeah, 2 minute 52.
Yeah. It was
Can't argue with that, can you?
very, very fast, but very enjoyable.
Took the controller, he got the results done.
Well, he's not dead, so what more can you hope for? Would you like a little...
Yeah, I will. I think what we'll do is carry on talking a little bit about what we've just played there.
Okay.
And then I think what we'll aim to do is head to the Mystic Ruins, being that we're in Station Square at the minute. We'll go into the second level, which is Windy City, I think.
Yeah,
With tornado and stuff.
Oh yeah, tornado.
Yeah. So, there are a lot of incidental features in this game that I found on my initial test playthrough. That I found that there's a point where you face the second boss of the game, which is Dr. Robotnik, in the Mystic Ruins, Tails' workshop.
Yep.
Now, once you've defeated him, you collect this almost like egg sphere or something that unlocks the second level. But what it does is when you place it down near it, it goes up in mid-air, twists around a little bit, then it centres itself into the portal.
Right.
But you can actually still see like little details like the spinning of inside the orb, like while it's doing it, which that's 3D model. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
You could have just left it as a static thing. And I think Dreamcast software was probably quite notorious for that. That the developers went above and beyond creating proper 3D worlds for the games, whereas a lot of developers with PlayStation 2 and to a lesser extent GameCube software would cut corners by having 2D assets a lot of the time, and I think it's very impressive for before the millennium, certainly. So I think that's very impressive with the game.
I like how they've stuck to the usual stuff they have, like in Sonic 1, 2, whatever. Particularly the checkered flooring, which always had in the other one, the greenery of the grass, sunset, everything like that. So yeah, it's good that they stuck to what they know of Sonic and they didn't change it too much. Which and having it as 3D as well is just revelation for Sonic, really, isn't it?
I must admit, I missed that.
What's that?
I missed the link between the checkered floor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally didn't even see that, even to this day. I didn't spot the link there. But there seems to be a lot of little subtle links going on with this game. I mean, I'm not even too sure what's going on over in this part. There'll be really no need to render that.
No.
I mean, it's all 3D, but why they've rendered it, I don't know. But yeah, there's not a lot of fogging going on in the game. I think as you do get later on, there are a few levels that are a little bit fogged, but for the first couple, certainly, you get a little bit of aggressive popping, but you don't really get much in the way of fogging, which would be synonymous with a Nintendo 64 title at the time, which would have been the most powerful machine before Dreamcast came along. But I feel what we're going to do is, if I grab the controller, and I think we can move the camera around with the left and right triggers. So
which is handy, because otherwise it'd
be a nightmare.
Yeah, you don't know where you're going, to be
honest.
Nightmare. Yeah, and the good thing as well with the control, I quite like the controls. Only one analog, so you can stick to one analog on one side and buttons on the other.
The only thing I think that lets that down for is first-person shooters. If you particularly play Half-Life or Outrigger on the system, it can be very difficult with one analog stick. But that's okay, it's got analog triggers on the back, which is more than we can say for the Nintendo Wii U. Right, okay, so we're going to get on the train now. Let's hope it's not the extortionate fees you get from British Rail.
Oh god. That'll cost a lot of gold rings.
Yeah. That's on for free, not Blue Edge off, for God's sake. I haven't got a wallet.
Also this game as well, if you haven't played it before, you don't have to be Sonic. There's other characters you can play. Tails, you know Tails. Knuckles as well, from Sonic and Knuckles. And the other one's not worth mentioning.
Who have you got? You've got Amy, haven't you?
Yeah, Big
Big cat.
Yeah.
And
wasn't there a robot or something?
E102 Gamma or something, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which they all add different play styles to the game.
Yeah.
Have Amy with a hammer, Tails able to fly, Knuckles obviously fighter, E102 shooter, and Big the cat fishes.
Yeah. They stuck to speed for Sonic, which they didn't stick to in the other games. Sonic 2, Sonic and Knuckles, they all go the same speed as Sonic.
Yeah.
So it's good that they all got different features.
Right, if we head through here, I mean, you're not going to be able to see it very well, but I think what I was talking about earlier is the rotation inside the orb, which is it's pretty amazing, to be honest, for that sort of standard. As picky as I am with graphics. Right, okay, so let's check this out and see what it's like. Now, weren't there problems with the original Japanese release of this game? Can you remember?
Not that I know of.
No?
No, I might have missed...
I think it was a lot of camera glitching issues, which they had to sort out for a later release of the game.
Look at this pro here, I wouldn't even know how to do that. You can tell he's been playing that.
Wow. Yeah. Let's discuss that once I finish the level and don't die.
Yeah.
Because again, that's quite unpredictable. Oh, this is a difficult bit.
Yeah, see how fast paced it is as well. You have to keep up with yourself, don't you?
Yeah. It can be very, very difficult to keep track of what Sonic's doing, what Tails is doing.
Yeah, he's just bouncing about, isn't he?
Yeah.
He don't need fun.
He doesn't really care. He's not interested in our goal here at all. I don't even know really why Tails joins the game. One would have to ask that if Tails was taken out and Dreamcast didn't have to render Tails in, would it have been a lot easier on the frame rate of the game? Not that it's really has much slowdown anyway, but would it have been smoother, the experience, had Tails not been in it? Controversial, that's my thoughts. Right, okay, this... I don't understand really why I have to give 3 attempts to get up on this bridge. I'm sure I'm missing a trick somewhere, but... Okay, up we go. Oh.
Safe.
Good save.
Nice. Is that it?
No. You get
more? Right.
2 acts to each level, actually. Roughly lasting sort of a minute and a half each.
Does he have to be this high?
I don't really know why he's so high in the sky, to be honest.
Who built this? Construction workers are amazing.
I know. I mean, they must have got danger money to do this. How many workers died? Because you've got to create the platforms first, haven't you? Well, you're creating a platform in a platform. Right, okay, so a rocket just appears here as well.
It's always handy to have a rocket
It's not
around.
part of the decor, I find.
No.
Put a rocket in. What? Put a rocket in. Well, I don't think it's going to fit in with the rest of it. Just do it. Alright, make it more industrial while you're there. We want to have some sort of bridge that's linking leaves together. Oh. Let's get past him.
Nice.
Okay. One thing Sonic Adventure does have in its benefit is the fact that it gives out lives like it is its last day on Earth.
Which is good if you're going to play the whole thing.
That's some airtime there, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean,
I was jealous.
Even Sonic's got to be thinking, what the hell am I doing right about now?
Well, as you know, all hedgehogs are quite fearless.
They are.
Yes. You must admit, the graphics are really nice on this.
Yeah, and
stuff that came out in the late 90s.
And it's holding good pace as well, which...
Whoa.
Yeah, whoa. If you've got epilepsy, it's probably not worth playing this game, I find. You will have a seizure. Okay.
If you do have a seizure, pause it, so you know where you are when you come out of it again.
Yeah. Or you could just watch this episode, so you know at least a rough play for a Sonic Adventure. No one's going to expect you to know all the levels of the game anyway, so you can just recite what you've seen here today. We've played it for you.
That's it.
3 minutes 21. Managed to clear the second level in.
That was good to me.
I feel good. There's a Guinness Book of Records out there. 2017 Sonic Adventure second level time battle. I think I would have won it. Not many other people.
Well, there's actually 2 features on this. You got the adventure, and you got the trial, I believe, haven't you?
Oh, well, you can play through levels.
Yeah.
Yeah, within a time frame. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So let's pause this again. So we can talk a little bit more about the game again. Now, the audio in the game's an odd one, isn't it?
Yeah.
When you went with previous Sonic games, you had sort of catchy little chiptune tracks, didn't you? Sonic 1, 2 and 3, a lot of the tunes stick in my head, certainly, from the Mega Drive era. Not so much with later games. I think Sonic 3D on the Saturn had quite a good soundtrack. But when you start moving towards Sonic R, which is that racing game I did on Saturn, that starts to lose it a little bit. And Sonic Adventure's tunes aren't particularly memorable, maybe apart from Crush 40, who does the main theme of the game.
Oh right, I'll say.
Yeah, don't know whether there's some sort of J-pop band, but
maybe they're going for a little bit something modern for this game, a little bit modern music.
Yeah.
But it's not really the music that you play it for. Graphics is great. I mean, as you saw, so it's clear as day, 3D, something that came out in the late 90s. You can't argue with it. Yeah,
it is a fantastic looking game, and I think even by today's standards, if you bought a Dreamcast and you had Sonic Adventure, it is well worth a playthrough all the way through, because the whole encompassing story is different with each character. Everybody gets a different slice of the pie.
Remember, Tails always drove like big machines, and obviously he had the airplane as well, didn't he?
Is that...
Remember he had like some robotic legs and he was going through the level shooting stuff.
Is that this one or is that Sonic Adventure 2?
Actually, I don't know now.
Can't remember much of Tails' story on this.
Sonic Adventure 2, that was also a great game.
Yes.
Graphics went beyond for that one, I think.
Yeah, the graphics on Sonic Adventure 2 are absolutely beautiful. And they still look good to this day.
Same console, still on Dreamcast.
Yeah, but that was a lot later, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. Was it 2004?
No.
3?
No, because Dreamcast had packed its pots and pans.
No, of course it did, yeah. But it must have been close to that time when it was going out.
2001.
2001, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was May 2001 that it arrived in the UK. By which point Sega had already folded the Dreamcast business anyway.
Unfortunately.
So Sonic Adventure 2 got a release on Dreamcast and GameCube as well, which shares similarities with this title as well, doesn't it?
Well, how well did it do with the first one? 'Cause the first one was like 25 million?
The 2.5 million copies sold on Dreamcast alone. Yeah, which I think made it the best-selling Dreamcast game of all time. 2.5 million copies is pretty good for an install base of what, just under 10 million consoles out there. So that's good. That's a massive chunk of the quarter of the Dreamcast ownership.
Yeah.
But I mean, we had different time frames of when the title was released, didn't we? Can you remember when it was released in Japan?
What, this one?
Yeah.
It was 1998 that. 98 that came out, didn't it?
Tail part of 98, wasn't it? The North American release on Dreamcast was the 9th of September of 1999. 9999.
Yeah.
And then Dreamcast version in Europe didn't quite make it until the 14th of October, and then the Australian version followed in December of 99.
Oh, right.
So you had quite a stunted release of the game. I would think it was probably to sort of build up the hype train. But there was development leaks throughout the time that it was being made.
Oh, really?
Saturn was Sega's main business at the time when this game started development, which is rumoured to be April of 1997. Which I can imagine probably pissed off a lot of Saturn owners because they were expecting their own 3D Sonic game, specifically tailor-made for the system, i.e. Sonic Extreme, and it didn't happen. Sega realised that Saturn wasn't their business and it was time to move on to Dreamcast. And development started, 30-man team, Sonic team, I think headed by Yuji Naka in April 1997.
Oh.
So it's pretty far back, but their plans were to keep it secret to begin with, and development was kept on the down low. However, someone leaked images onto the internet in 1998, early 98, before Sega were ready to announce the Dreamcast business and all that lot, and so they were forced into showing off what they had. I think the Tokyo Game Show or CES that year. They forced their hand and say, we're working on Sonic Adventure, which pissed off a lot of Saturn owners.
Depends if they got dial-up or not. If you managed to sit through that just to see the leak footage. And
yeah, absolutely. Certainly broadband wasn't the main business back then. But yeah, I mean, what's our view with the camera system Sonic Adventure?
Yeah, I'm not too fond of the camera. It does move about a lot and you kind of get lost a little bit. Again, if you just keep hitting those triggers, you'll get used to it, as long as you remember it, really. I'll probably give it like a 5 out of 10 just for the camera.
For the camera, yeah. I think I'm with you. It's sloppy.
Yeah.
Sloppy, and I think the godsend is the triggers that move the camera around. However, they move the camera around in real time. So, for example, if there is an object which it sees as in the circumference of the camera, you won't be able to move the camera around it for fear of obviously it clipping the game world, which is a bit of a problem. Because 9 times out of 10 you are trying to avoid something that is in your way to begin with, and you're just going to encounter it on the other side of the camera. Moving back to the GameCube release of the game, it's quite an odd scenario with this, because whereas Sonic Adventure 2 came out on Dreamcast in the April-May of 2001, it arrived on the GameCube I think for November 2001. The Dreamcast version of Sonic Adventure, obviously being 98-99, didn't arrive on the GameCube until 2003. So it actually went backwards.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Strange.
Dreamcast sequels obviously went forward. Sonic Adventure 2. GameCube, Sonic Adventure 2, Sonic Adventure 1.
Yeah.
which was the DX re-release.
It's good though. I mean, for a console that didn't last as long as they hoped for, it did open up quite a franchise for other consoles to carry on.
Yeah,
that really.
Absolutely. I think it probably set the benchmark for what was expected from 3D action-based games at the time, which is, its legacy still stands today.
Yeah, yeah.
I think there are also online sections of the game. You had the web page that you could go onto, and if I remember correctly, I was a trifle too young, I think, at the time, but you could upload your high scores for the levels for time trials.
That's pretty cool.
If I remember correctly, I'm not 100% sure on that, but I think that service actually resumed very recently through the Dreamcast now.
Wow.
Online portal for Dreamcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there are dedicated fans out there that are still maintaining the online side of these Dreamcast games. Which
I think the web page for it is still exactly the same as when you started it as well.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Or at least it's been resurrected, but all the assets are still there.
Yes.
But if you put the disc into a PC, as a little tip, I'm pretty sure it has wallpapers on the disc. High resolution wallpapers that you can use on your Windows 95 background.
It's strange that Windows didn't bring it out for many years after. What was it, 2000? Was that 2004?
That was the 2004 one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the PC version of DX, yeah.
It's weird that they waited so long for it to come out on PC.
Well, I seem to recall that the DX re-release of Sonic Adventure was actually worse than the original one. I'm pretty sure it was something to do with the frame rate. Maybe it was running at 30 frames versus 60 frames on the Dreamcast.
Oh, right.
But don't quote me on that because I'm not 100% sure, because it's been a long time since I've dusted off Sonic Adventure to give it a try.
So, what are we reckon about prices for this then?
Well, I'm thinking that probably the GameCube version's got to be around sort of the £10 mark. Yeah,
it was in fact, I found for about £5 to £10. It was round about that, unless of course you're doing buy it now and then be that. Or bids might be a bit better. That's eBay though.
Dreamcast version?
I found that for £8 to £9. That one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I imagine the PC version is probably peppercorn, a couple of quid.
Yeah, a couple of quid, if that. Nobody wants it.
No.
But yeah, where can we find these places? I mean, of course we've got Once, one of the greatest second-hand stores in Plymouth. More than one store, so you can probably find this game like that.
Absolutely. You've got Young Upstart, the tech outlet, who've just recently started doing retro games.
Yeah, I've just liked their page. Yeah, it's a fantastic page actually, because he's got a video of him opening his shop.
Yeah.
Which I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was pretty good.
Absolutely fantastic. Very down to earth. Friendly atmosphere in there as well. You've also got nerds.co.uk as well, on Cornwall Street. So a lot of retro stuff. Spent a lot of time in there.
We have, yeah.
Mooching around
stuff in there, yeah.
For retro. So shout out to those guys there. I think probably a personal shout out. Do you think?
Yeah, I think we should.
Yeah.
I think we should.
To our friend, the one and only Mikey Hay. Absolutely fantastic video logger. Seek him out on YouTube. Often in our comments section, you can find him on YouTube, Mikey Hay. Going about day-to-day business and a little bit of comedy and just enlightening people's lives a little bit more. Fantastic.
Yes, it's really funny. It's definitely worth watching.
Brilliant guy, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, definitely.
So, basically, I think that probably sums up Sonic Adventure for us.
Yeah.
It's been a fantastic
journey
through, windy valleys and beaches.
And emeralds and more emeralds, because I can't get enough of emeralds.
And absolute chaos. So there you have it. So that was Sonic Adventure.
Yep.
I've been Speedy Forbes on them for this episode.
I've been just Michael Langabia.
Square. Okay, and that's us.
That's us. Thanks. We've got another game actually.
Wait a minute.
One time.
No, over. I want to get hands off.